I'm going to blame my meds. I completely screwed up. I never hit the go live button.
Yeah, gotta hit the big red button sometimes to make the go juice.
Not even a big red button. That's the sad part. All right, everyone. Sorry for the few minutes late. We had some internet issues here with the weather, but we're good now. And now I guess, Devin, you're checking to make sure we're live everywhere?
Yep, I got it. We're all running 5x5 on every platform, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook.
Okay. I'm going to have well, you know what? I'm going to let you host. I'm going to be very quiet today.
Me?
Yeah, why not? I talk all the time. People are tired of hearing me talk.
Throwing me into the deep end of the pool when the pool's on fire.
Yeah, but you have the anvil, so you're scheduled to go.
Okie dokie, I'll take the lead. So, are you going to bring our guests on?
Well, I thought you might want to announce who's coming on and what we're going to talk about
today on this episode of Lock and Load on the Air. We are talking to Harold Buchanan and Mo Fitzgerald. Hope I didn't screw his name up. They are running the SanDiego Historicon this coming next weekend. That doesn't make next weekend, the 13th, 14th. 13th, 14th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th is virtual convention. David, can you put up the link to the website so if people who are interested, although I do think that all the badges have been sold out so far, but I can't say that 100%.
I'm looking for the link. Hold on. Well, you know what? Let's bring the guest on, and then I will put all the goodish link on there. There we go. Okay, now bring Mo on and then Harold, all right?
Yep.
Hey Mo, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How you guys doing?
What's up, Mo? You've got hair.
Yes, I do have hair. Actually, I have less hair now because I got a haircut. And with all this pandemic stuff, not been able to get to the haircut place that easy, so back to the normal haircut. And actually, you should bring Harold in, not me, because it's his convention.
It is Harold's convention.
I was told we wanted to talk about your spot on the calendar this year.
So
okay. Now,
Yeah, well, it's the convention is something that Harold's been doing every year in San Diego for several years now. And it's a fantastic convention. If you've not been to it, you really need to go because I know, Dave, I got you to come out there a couple of years ago, and we had a really good time. And it's a small, intimate convention, about 150 so people. And Harold will be able to give you all the stats on that as well as we bring Harold into the show. And
how you doing?
There you go,
hey,
Harold.
What's going on, guys? Hey, where's Dan Pancaldi? I thought I was coming on Dan Pancaldi's show.
Oh, he'll probably have you on at some point.
What have you guys done? David, what have you done with Dan Pancaldi?
I haven't done anything with him, actually. I talked to him a couple of days ago.
Is he trapped in that couch back there?
No.
I mean, he's small enough; he could fit into it. I'm sorry, Dan.
I feel like he's trapped somewhere in David's office. I'm not suggesting you should bring him on, David. As a matter of fact, I'd prefer you didn't if I have a choice.
Okay.
That's a great vote of confidence.
Yeah, I thought this was Dan Pancaldi's show. I'm highly confused.
Well, I just want to apologize for giving you the wrong time yesterday. My mind has not been working real well this entire week, and I think everybody knows why. So I think that's pretty much how most of the country is right now. So I apologize for that. So Harold,
I'm sorry, Devin. I'm sorry to interrupt. Good to see everybody. David Heath, good to see you. You've been to the SDHisCon, and Devin, you have too, right? At some point?
I have not. I lived in San Diego, but that was like in the late 80s.
You decided you never want to come back?
Yeah, kind of.
No, San Diego's great.
Yeah, as a tourist, you don't have to pay the taxes here, which is far.
See, the problem is if I'd go back down to San Diego, then I'd want to hit over the border to Tijuana. And but that's, anyways.
That's a different story. Right?
That is a completely different story. Not one
nowadays, you probably wouldn't.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And hello, Mo. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you guys for inviting me to come on and talk loud and make fun of Dan Pancaldi.
Oh, we appreciate it. We deeply appreciate it.
Go Michigan.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Harold, tell us a little bit about SanDiego Historicon for those of us who have not made it and may not know exactly what it is, how long you've been running it, and all the good information like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Mo's been around most of the time. We've been running it for about, I guess this would have been the 6th year that we would have met face to face. And it is, just a traditional hotel-based convention, people in from all over, all over the country and all over the U.S. San Diego is a wonderful place to visit. And we're all gamers, and so we'd rather spend the time indoors than outdoors, but it's a nice place to bring your spouse and to spend a little time before and after to hang out, some cool historical sites. But it's been a great convention. We started rather small, and the last few years we've capped at about 150 just because of hotel space. Want to make everything comfortable. I think that we probably have the highest ratio of designers to participants of any convention that you may go to. So that's the unique experience about the San Diego Historical Games Convention, is that there are just designers everywhere. So I remember walking through a room the other night and passing Ananda Gupta and Mark Herman and Volko, and let's see who else, Cole Worley, Mark Simonich,
John Butterfield,
Morgan Guillaume-Rete, most of which will be here at the online convention. And that's just a sampling of who shows up. So
yourself, don't forget you.
That's right. There we go. This right here. This. So we have a great turnout. We also have a great turnout of vendors, and David's been part of that before. But there's a bunch of stuff to buy, and you don't have to pay shipping, and that's always fun for those of us that live in San Diego. But it's been a fantastic convention, and so we were all very sad that we couldn't run it this year face to face for all the reasons we all know and don't need to talk about anymore. But we decided that we wanted to do something online and experiment with it, and the idea was to get we all had not we all, but many of us had the view that it would be nice to help gamers that aren't playing on Vassal or Tabletop Simulator or whatever, or comfortable with Discord. Maybe we could provide a service to a lot of, at first it was the San Diego gamers, but we kind of grew that and pull people in and give them a shot to play with this stuff and get more comfortable with it. Because, the funny thing about this pandemic for me, and I don't know what I expected in a pandemic, but I frankly have played more games in the pandemic than I have before the pandemic. And, Volko Runke and I played 5 games of Burning Blue. I don't know that I would get through one game of Burning Blue in a year normally, but it was just a treat. And what we were doing was really taking advantage of the forum. Our group in San Diego, we have not just me, but we also have smart guys in the room, and they set up a Discord server. And that has turned out, I've been on Discord for 2 years. I had no idea what it was really capable of as far as organizing and just hanging out. And we've been using that. A lot of great talk, a lot of games to watch. So that's been fun. And you kind of realize, we're not encumbered now with having to fight for space at a gaming store that would rather people play Pokemon or Magic. And I like Magic, so I don't mean to demean it, but that's the reality of our local game stores here, is that we have to fight for space and fight to reserve it. And now we don't have to. And there's no capacity limits, and 20 people can watch over your shoulder and watch you play a game. And we're just having a great time with it. So we thought, let's try to help out fellow gamers that aren't really getting the benefit of that and using it. And so that's pretty cool, and that's one of the things we're excited about. Now we have no capacity constraints. We have, our costs are relatively low. We don't have to pay for hotels. We're not constrained by the hotel size. So with about 4 weeks to go, we decided, let's just do it. We jumped in, capped it at 150 slots, and in 2 weeks it was sold out. So, at that rate, given the sit-down convention rate of registrations, we probably could have registered 300 or 400 people. But, it's our first time. We figured we have some constraints as it relates to to just helping everybody get around, especially if people come that aren't as comfortable with either Vassal or Discord or Tabletop Simulator. So we capped it at 150. A lot of great designers are going to be there. We're going to do a lot of events. A handful will be live. Mo's events, I think, will be live for sure. Right, Mo?
Yes.
Mo,
yeah, they'll be live.
Mo and I are going to do a few events, and we'll have designers in from the convention. I'm going to film three Harold on Games interviews. One of them is a coin reunion on Friday, so not all the coin designers are invited. I might be the only one that's there, but if we get a good turnout there, that'll be interesting for fans of that series. Mark Herman, John Butterfield are going to come by one night. That's the goal, is just to have some interesting things going on, not just games.
What are you going to call the coin reunion? You're going to call it Counting Change or something like that?
Yeah, there's got to be. Yeah, well, that's maybe the audience here can come up with something interesting for the coin reunion.
I think that wouldn't be a bad idea or something like that, because coin did really change a lot of things in the wargame world. It really did get that crossover appeal going for bringing in the Eurogamers to the wargame realm. So I think that's a pretty cool thing.
It welcomed me back to the hobby after almost 30 years of kid stuff. My kids moved out, and I started to get involved, and Andean Abyss was one of the first games I played, and it was just so interesting and different. I was just mesmerized by it, and started playing it, enjoyed it, and I think that that series, as you said, Mo, pulls a lot of people in. It does great recruiting for us in the wargame hobby. I've seen some of those people that get recruited in that have no interest at all in history, and pretty soon they're playing David's games and shooting each other with tanks, which I think is great. So yeah, it's a nice starter drug, and I love playing the coin games. I love the fact that there's a little bit of negotiation involved, and that makes it more interesting. Now that we have 4 people at the table instead of just 2.
Yeah.
Harold, what made you want to start a convention? Because that sounds very thankless.
Yeah, no, you're David. It is absolutely no. I just enjoy networking, and for me, if I know 60 or 70 people in San Diego that play war games are around, I have my choice of what I want to play and with whom, and so it's great. And had I not started that, I could have named 6 people in San Diego, right? 3 of which prefer to play Euros, one of which will only play Paths of Glory, and so it's really a self-centered perspective on this stuff that I like to pull people together, because it just makes my life better, easier, more fun. And the convention is great. Now it is a huge pain to put it all together and organize. And luckily in San Diego, I've got a host of people. My partner in the convention has been Pat Wells, who's a lovely guy and super organizationally and execution wise. So he helps so much. And then Edgar Melick and Bobby Factor, if you've seen Bobby on Twitter, have been a phenomenal help in making this happen, as well as Tom Lykos have been a great help in making this fall together. So, it's great because not everybody, but a lot of people enjoy it and are willing to give their time. Mo's been great. Mo's been involved, comes down, does interviews, helps however he can. Usually when I need a table moved, I grab one end and yell, "Hey, Mo," and the 2 of us move the table. So, that's really, the community just gets closer and closer here in San Diego. And I'm not competitive with any other cities, but I just love the fact that we have such a close group of wargamers that communicate all the time, enjoy each other's company, and you can just jump in with.
No, I have to say I did enjoy going to San Diego with Mo. My son loves it. He loves eating the food there, man. We went to hibachi place twice. That kid ate like $80 worth of food.
Perfect.
And then he did it the second time. And then, who was the guy we were playing with, Mo? He took us to that steakhouse. It was excellent.
Yeah, I can't remember his name right now. Jimmy? I think it was Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy Hansen. Yeah,
Jimmy Hansen. Yes, that's it. Jimmy Hansen. Yeah.
He's a great guy, man. He had just a great time. He helped me work the booth the first year I was there.
Yeah. Yeah, and Jimmy
I
always
haven't seen him in a while.
Jimmy, I've heard he's around. I haven't bumped into him, for obvious reasons, but Jimmy is a sweetheart. I love that guy. Huge heart, very kind, and absolutely loves your games, David. So he's a missionary for sure. And many times he's run demos of your games at our convention.
Yeah, no, he's been a tremendous help. No two ways about it.
He's a gem.
Definitely. And, from a participant perspective as an attendee at SDHistCon, it is just a great, place to go. Small, like I said, intimate convention, like 150, 160 people. And some people may say, that's not great. They're used to going to Gen Con with 70,000. Enjoy it. Go enjoy 70,000 people. I actually want to see people that I can say, hey, how's it going? How you been? Sit down with them and catch up and things like that.
It's a lot easier for you to hide in the crowd than them when you come out.
It is, and I'm not a tall guy, so it's very easy for me to definitely be there. Now we were talking about Dan Pencaldi; he would totally be gone in that crowd. But seriously, I'm
still waiting for him to pop up somewhere.
He's coming. Actually, I'm working on him. He wants to come in. He's got some gift for you or some.
Oh, goodness.
He's going to wear the Michigan shirt.
He's going to wear the Michigan T-shirt, and of course, I have the Ohio State T-shirt on.
I heard something about Michigan underwear, but you can't quote me on that.
Yeah, no. Well, I don't want to see that. I want no part in that. I don't know what you guys are up to. I'm watching some of the questions here. David Thompson recognizes how good my beard looks. Thank you, David. David, who Undaunted Normandy and Undaunted North Africa and a host of other games, really a prolific young. I mean, I can't imagine, his career is going to span probably 150 games. He's so creative and so prolific. But he does recognize that my beard's awesome. So thanks, David. Appreciate that.
Score some brownie points there.
Yeah.
And Ronnie brings up the SD Hist Cup, which I do have the mug here for SD HistCon, which you can get those. You can get T-shirts and masks.
If I knew that, we would have asked for the cups before we go on the show. Devin, you're slipping.
I know. I like I said, my mind's been elsewhere.
They're available at Teespring. Hang on a second.
And while he's going to get something else to show us, I think it's probably going to be the mask. And there you go. Who is that mask man?
You can't see the beard, though. You got to cut a little side there for the beard.
Yeah, it cuts out the epic beard. There you go.
If Pencaldi comes on, this is going back on, by the way.
Okay.
At that point, it's a muzzle. But
right. So I did.
David,
go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry, Mo. I'm sorry to interrupt, but David, I'm giving one of these away today to the best question in this chat section, and I don't mean to take over that weird portion of your show where you give stuff away, but that's what I'm doing.
Well, we gave stuff away. I didn't even know we did that. Dave, what's he been doing, man?
I didn't even know we were giving stuff away either. So I
Wait,
just
this
take my
isn't Dan
cue from
Pencaldi
you.
show. This isn't the Dan Pencaldi show. So I have a mask in plastic that I will unopen.
So it's secure and safe.
But we got we have to evaluate a good question.
Well, we have a nice group on board, but they are not big on questions. I'll tell you that. I did see one go by, because Devin and I monitored different areas. They want to know. They said the convention sold out. Is there any chance of you expanding tickets?
We're our biggest concern now is making sure that we don't get clogged up with people that have challenges with Discord or something else. So given that this is an experiment, we wanted to cap it somewhere. And of course, everybody in my group wanted to cap it at 40. And then I decided, and then I pushed and pushed and pushed until they told me to shut up, make it 150 and leave us alone. So that's the way things usually work in our group. But I think we're pressing the edge of what's reasonable. But I think we're going to learn a lot. And there's Bobby Factor, who's one of the cogs in the machine right now. But yeah, the next one could be a lot bigger, and I don't know when the next one will be. My guess is it's kind of like childbirth, right? That if you could remember what the last one was like, you wouldn't do another one.
I was going to say, yeah, but then we wouldn't have any more conventions, though.
Then we wouldn't. Yeah. No. So I think we'll heal a little bit after this one, and then I'll bring up, hey guys, want to try 300 or 500?
How many do we do? And not we, but how many did I can't remember anyone's name. The last online con we did.
Armchair Dragoons.
Armchair
Dragoons. How many do we have for that?
I can't remember what he said that was. Do you remember, Harold? I know that he came in and talked that night. It wasn't huge. It was probably like in the 40 to.
No, it was a reasonable experiment. And,
yeah, 40
those guys were great. They came on and met with us and gave us. We learned a lot of lessons from them. So if they hadn't done theirs, we couldn't do 150 now. But I don't know. I don't know exactly what the number was, but somewhere between 0 and $1.50.
Well, the one thing I've noticed once we started this whole planning thing, and Harold brought everybody together, and there's a real team behind this. This isn't just like Harold saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to have an online convention version of SD Hist." He actually recruited a bunch of people doing all different types of jobs, and there's people that are doing some amazing stuff behind the scenes. And this is very coordinated. Let me tell you, there's a lot of effort being put into it. Some might even say that some of the effort is way above and beyond, because there's a lot of customization going on that, we see other conventions basically just kind of slap it together and say, hey, we're going to have an online thing. And everybody goes, okay, I'm going to commit. And they go, well, what's different from just going online and playing VASA with my friends? Well, the social aspect is one thing. The other is coordinated, events and having a clearinghouse for everybody to come together and play, which is what a convention is physically. But because we're separated right now, we're all virtual. This is going to be the closest thing to having an in-person convention, I think, the way it's been set up so far. And Harold's done a really fantastic job getting the right crew together, and the crew has done an amazing job.
You're very kind, Mo. Next time I see you face to face, I'll give you that $20.
I'll hold you to it.
No, it's extraordinary, and it's you really don't even have to ask people to do stuff; they just do it. It's just extraordinary. Edgar Malik is extraordinary in his understanding of the technology, but he's not just a technologist. He's a guy that can talk to people like me that have no idea what's going on. So he's wonderful, and Bobby Factor here has been wonderful in just his ability to organize and communicate. And you can't do this stuff by yourself with any size. So excited that you guys are coming out now. Devin, you guys are going to run a series of events. I saw some new events pop up.
Yep.
So
what we've got?
I got an important announcement. Hold on.
Oh
no.
Yep.
All right, so we can dump that now and go back to the conversation.
Hold on.
Oh no.
Dan, I think you got a lot of feedback.
Now we can go back to the conversation.
Dan, I think you got a lot of feedback.
Are we on a loop now?
Dan, make it stop.
You can mute him if need be. There you go.
Dan, make it stop. That's what it sounds like inside that house.
I'm not doing anything. I don't know what's going on.
It's going through your speakers.
We're hearing the voices in your head, Dan.
That's why we all feel confused.
I'm not doing anything. I don't know what's going on.
Dan, you're talking to yourself again.
There you go, Dan. You see that? I thought, I know it's your first time.
That's pretty good.
There you go, Dan. You see that? I thought, I know it's your first time.
So if I can talk over whatever weirdness is going on with Dan, there's a
That's
question.
not me.
It is you. It's got you.
It came on the second you came on.
So if I can talk over whatever weirdness is going on with Dan.
Hey, watch. I'll prove it to you, Dan.
Mute him, and you'll see. There you go. Problem solved. But
He did it. Stop.
So somebody was asking Hethwell was asking about recordings. We are going to record a number of the events. And, I don't know when we'll release them and even if we'll release them, but, given that, it's all electronic, I think it's going to work, at least some of them. So we're going to try to get that set up.
Yeah.
So that's good.
The voices are back in my head again.
I'm starting to see something. Why are your hands bigger than your head? That's what I want to know, Dan.
How many of those helmets do you have now, Dan?
He's got quite a few now.
See, now he's muted, so we don't have the problem.
There's no more echo?
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
there's
Oh,
echo.
the echo's back. Yeah.
Muted, so we don't have
Okay, bye.
Long, Dan.
Sorry, Dan. We
See,
love
this
Dan.
is what happens is, it's like a whole new cottage industry. Those soft helmets they put on people that run themselves into a wall. They are now adding decorations on them to make them look like Roman helmets and things like that. So, Dan's got a little cottage industry going.
That's awesome. We were talking about, you guys are going to, Devin, you guys set up a bunch of events that just recently, right? Last night, I think.
We did. Stefan Tangaway, our rules guru and editor par excellence, the man who's made David and I both drink vast quantities of alcohol, but that's another story. He is going to be running 3 Lock and Load tactical events, 9 a.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I'm not sure exactly what titles he's doing. I think he's going to be leaving that up to the decision of the people who attend the event, and he's just going to be able to. He's just going to go ahead and throw it together real quick at that point. He got that set up last night, and Keith and I, more Keith than I, are going to be running 2 World at War events, one at 1 o'clock on Friday afternoon as an introductory gameplay. So if you don't really know World at War that well, if you want to learn, this would be a great time to come in and jump in. And then Saturday afternoon, about 2 o'clock, we're also going to be doing another one, more of a advanced, well, not really advanced, an intermediate. So we're going to be looking at a different scenario with maybe some helicopter operations and maybe some air mobile operations and something a little bit more advanced than the basic scenarios that we've done with the last couple cons.
That's pretty cool. I also noted that there were some things already on the schedule. Have you guys looked through? I think we'd received some signaling early on that you all were going to be involved, and so there are already some stuff on this, already some things on the schedule.
I think Rick was also going to be doing some Lock and Load, but I'll admit I went through the itinerary yesterday and didn't see anything, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I know there's a Storm the Gap, at least one, maybe several, maybe 2 or 3. So you might want to go to the site and go through and make sure you guys know what. And
I'll go through.
I
the
know that your
itinerary
operation
again.
runs like a well-oiled machine, so I don't really have any fear. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I might want to take a look.
Right. And now I know why you do conventions, because you're delusional.
Yeah, I didn't tell you what's in my Diet Coke, did I?
There may be some other events that people are doing for, personal gaming too, as well. Maybe you saw something like that, Harold Soup, but
No, I think it came from you, actually. I think it came from you, and you
mentioned it.
You gave us 3 times.
Yeah, I did.
So
that was when we were initially talking about it, and then Devin was supposed to get that all
Let's
squared away.
just make sure that we're all on the same page of what's on there, because I'd hate for somebody to show up and
well, that's a real con, then, buddy. That's how you know.
That's when you know it's real.
Yeah.
When you know it's real when you walk into that room to play a game and there's no one there.
All right. I won. No.
And the Discord link, the question that Joe G has up there, the Discord link is for attendees only, because once you are signed up for the con, which is since closed down right now, and no more signups currently,
yes.
The Discord link will be sent out to the attendees.
Yes. Yeah. So, and we will have a tech event on Thursday evening to get used to the event, to get started. If you go to Discord, there's some links to videos that will help you as well. But if you show up sometimes Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, we will be around, and we're helping people get started. We're working with the GMs a little before that, but plenty of opportunity to get up to speed before the rubber hits the road Friday morning.
Yep. Should be a lot of fun. And with the Lock and Load events, Lock and Load will also be supporting through, I believe, some prizes as well, correct?
Yes. Yeah. No, Lock and Load's a sponsor, has been a sponsor of the SD HistCon for a number of years. And we appreciate it. And I will tell you, David, we play, before we all got blown out of the game stores, it would not be uncommon for there to be 4 or 5 games of Storm the Gap going on. And yeah, we love it. And, to me, it's just the right mix of a period that I love, the technical aspects of all the different equipment, and then just playability. It's fantastic. So we've had a great time with that and appreciate that. But appreciate you guys as a sponsor. So that means, we're going to give away some games during the convention at random to people. And Bobby Factor is involved with that. So be nice to Bobby Factor, and he will select the registrants that will get those. And Lock and Load was very generous to support us in that regard.
No, it's a great con. I really do enjoy going. Mo, I got a question for you. You need to answer. Here it is.
No.
Okay. Okay.
He's saying hello, and he says he really likes our games.
Oh, okay. Hello back. All right.
But he disagrees with the outcome of World of War 85.
I thought he said he liked my games.
It's all about games.
Yeah, that's all of us. The collective.
We got Kevin Sharp. He says it'd be nice to have an open day or a partial day.
Yeah.
Be nice to have $1 million too.
Yeah, Kevin. Kevin, that's Tuesday for you, buddy. It's Tuesday is Kevin Sharp Day at the convention. He can come and play by himself.
Now, either week, the week prior or the week after.
Both. Both.
All right. I do know, from Devin, correct me if I'm wrong, we've put, just so the gamers know who maybe not normally watching our show, we've put all of our core games on Tabletop Simulator.
Yes.
And they've always been on Vassal. But we've also now made it a way, trying to really embrace this digital world. For those who don't know, I was the founder of Matrix, so I'm a computer guy. And the board games was just a way for me to cause myself more aggravation in longer ways in production time compared to a computer game. But what we have done for those, there was a lot of guys who told us when the pandemic started that, they don't want to have to buy a $100 board game because they don't have anyone to play with, or they're just going to play online. So we took our scenario booklet and module rules and made them into what we call companion books now. So now you can just buy the book. The rules are already free, and you can play online. And then they just basically have a digital copy. And we see a lot of movement with the online play now, which I think is really great. You're doing the convention, because honestly, Mo and I were, before you had officially canceled the convention, we were like, can we sneak out there? How hard is it to get on a plane? And I really think that's a great way of doing it. And I also know Devin has made a video of showing how to play the games in Tabletop Simulator. And I think Vassal too, you've done it for already.
No, I haven't done for Vassal, and I've done 2, maybe 3 different ones for Tabletop Simulator as I find new features that I didn't realize about, and as we added new things to the Tabletop Simulator modules. There are a series of videos that I've done. Now, they may not be the best, they may not be the most informed, but they are good. They're good places for people to start.
Okay. Here's a question, I believe. Best link for the convention. I would say the best link for the convention is the link that's scrolling on the bottom of the screen. But Harold, what do you think?
Yeah, let's see. So SD Hist will get you through. There's a big blue button on that as well. But let me grab a link and I'll throw it in the chat here. That it will take you directly to. We're using tabletop events to manage this, and it's working out great. Although some days I will tell you that it is not my favorite bit of application. Let's see. So I'm going to drop that into the into our chat here somewhere. I think I can do that, right?
Yeah, in the private chat you can.
Stick it in the private chat, and I'll copy and paste it in there.
Yes. Yeah, we have a private chat, I'm sure.
Well, the thing is to keep in mind is a lot of people have done these virtual conventions this year because of circumstances, the obvious circumstances, but not all of them have been super well reviewed afterwards. And it's no offense to anyone who's done any of these conventions. My hat's off to everyone who has, because there's growing pains. And this is one of these things where it's not like everybody says in 2020, we're going to start going virtual conventions only. We're not going to do in-person conventions anymore. This was forced on everybody. So, I really do appreciate everybody's effort in trying to maintain a convention season for people in the virtual realm, being that we can't do it in person.
Yeah, no, I have to say, I was really skeptical about how that was going to work, but so far they've been really good and have had decent turnout. Hey guys, I'm going to pull away for a second for a quick break, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to On the Air with Lock and Load Publishing, and we'll be right back.
All right, we're back.
All right. Hey, David, if you don't mind, there's one other group that's been a part of the SanDiego HisCon from the start, and of course that's Tim and Carl from the War Game Boot Camp.
Oh, those guys are excellent. Yes.
Yeah, they've been great, right? I mean, terrific. They for us, they've been great because they facilitate this massive need inside a game convention. Somebody that comes in by themselves, doesn't know anybody, hasn't really signed up for any event, and is looking for something to do, or maybe you haven't played war games in a while and you'd like to become acquainted with them, reacquainted with them. And, Tim and Carl just do a phenomenal job of getting people introduced and up to speed. So we're really thankful that they're involved and continue to be involved in this online convention. And they brought us a lot of lessons learned as well from a couple of conventions that they've been a part of. So, it's just, more and more all of us putting our heads together and trying to make it the best we can. The other thing, Mo, it's funny. I sometimes we lose touch of this, but it's a lot of people giving a ton of time. Mm-hmm. And, these conventions cost $10. So, the fun per dollar is relatively high in these conventions, right? The cost is almost nothing, but if somebody can't pay the $10, we will help them. We'll get them in. That's always true for us. We're always providing some help for people that might be in trouble. And, God knows in this pandemic, people have lost jobs and having a tough time making ends meet. So we want you to play games with us. And, but frankly, for $10 shouldn't be much complaint, right? So
that doesn't work like that, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, you're paying $10 for the convention fee. There's no travel time. There's no flights. There's no rooms. Although those, are expensive and all, they do have a benefit because you can lock yourself away from everything where you can't do that in a virtual world. But at least hopefully you can make some arrangements with your family and say, hey, I need to get some me time here for the next few hours. So let me go ahead and do that. And then I'll meet up with you for dinner or something. And it makes it easier for people to kind of switch from real life to the virtual life pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We got a question here. Hold on.
First of all, I love the private public ID. It's awesome. We've been working on this. We've been thinking about it for a number of weeks. I'd worked out an agreement with the hotel we were in to get out of that, and that was quite the mess. And once we got out of that, we just kind of took our breath and said, well, we're not going to have a convention this year. And then as we started to get closer, Pratik, I see him in the audience, and a few other people, Tim Charlesworth, and started to think about, maybe we should do something little. And we were using Discord for the first time, over the last 3 or 4 months as well. So we just put our heads together and it started to develop. So it really, I guess we started ticket sales just over 2 weeks ago and sold out in a couple weeks. We maybe spent a couple weeks before that just trying to visualize and picking people's brains about what works and what doesn't, and got a lot of good input and just decided to dive into it. Now, of course, everybody was all in when it was 40 people, and then when I had the great idea about expanding it to 150, everybody was apprehensive, but I gave a few virtual hugs and we went ahead and made it happen. I think the tough part is just trying to anticipate the choke points. Yeah. In the system, right? Where are people going to have problems? Because, I just want people to have fun, and I don't mind limiting it to a number. We've had to do that at the physical convention, just so we can make sure everybody has the right environment to enjoy themselves. It's no fun stacking a convention full of people, and we're not trying to make any money off of this. We're just trying to kind of break even here. So. That's the hardest part. Where's that going to be? Is that going to be, we have, 70 people show up Saturday morning in the lobby and none of them know how to use Discord? Is that going to be the choke point? I really have no idea, but we're watching tons. We're seeing tons of GMs come in, and we're getting them acquainted. Last night we spent some time with John Butterfield. Mark Herman's going to come in on another day. I won't tell you, but and showing people around, getting everybody going. So that's all. That's the hardest part, is just trying to figure out what in the world, how's this going to play out.
I think that's the biggest thing is, like, Harold was saying, the preparation ahead of time. This has been going on for several weeks, like 4 or 5 weeks, and there were meetings, and not just 1 or 2 meetings. There were multiple meetings, and they were like daily that people were doing online on Zoom. And we were having like 6-8 people in a meeting, and everyone was throwing out different things. The list started growing and growing and growing as far as concerns, things to look at and things to head off. And that's why I said there's been a lot of work involved in this. And Edgar has been a wizard in getting things, going for Discord. Bobby's been amazing at getting the word out. It's just been a really fantastic team here.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's collaboration. Vesarponen, who did All Bridges Burning, the latest coin series that was published, is coming, right? And he's coming from Europe, so he'll be there, and he'll be playing his game and a new game that he's working on kind of life after the Cold War. But I was talking to him once about what makes a great designer. And, I admitted to him that I don't think I'm a great designer, because I think, the great designers in my mind, the Mark Hermans and, of course, the Volko, those two guys, I visualize them waking up one morning and vomiting something, and it becomes a game. And then they walk over and they do that again tomorrow. They're just extraordinary. I love being around them. I just hope that I can, it a little bit rubs off. They don't like when I touch them, but I'm just hoping a little something rubs off. But the thing that I'm pretty good at is collaboration, and we've built a team of people that just stand up and make stuff happen, and it's awesome. So I really think I haven't talked to anybody about future plans, so I should shut up, because I think Pratik is going to jump on me if I say anything. But I think we can do this, and I think we can do it more than once a year, and I think we can make it something that people will choose to do from time to time, even after, this pandemic blows over and we can meet again. I think people, and not as a substitute for a convention, but an additional convention, right? Of all the things that we do. I mean, for me, I love playing games, and then sometimes while other stuff's going on, I'm watching football on Saturday or Sunday. So, that's my plan next weekend, is I'm going to be doing a mix between watching the Ohio State University football and the convention.
That's something Hethwell did bring up. He said, I think David had just posted that up a moment ago, about having these sister events running side by side with the real events once everything gets back to normal. So that way, hey, you know what? you can't make it out to San Diego for whatever reason, we can have a virtual version of the San Diego Historical Games Convention. The same for the others. Hopefully they'll all do something similar to where, the big event is in the fall. Maybe we'll do something in the spring for the people who can't make the fall event. And if you can, great. You can make both. That's awesome.
Yeah, agreed. And I was, of course, thinking of 3 times a year, Mo, so we got to get you thinking bigger.
No, I didn't want to, because you're saying you didn't want to say anything to get anybody's hopes up. That's why
I'm
I was keeping it on
I'm
the
going to
down
shut
low.
up, or I'm going to have a bunch of people mad at me. But
They're on the post.
What's that?
It's already listed.
He's actually talking quarterly, but
that's right, or monthly. So there's a lot of things that we can do in a virtual convention that we can't do, or it's harder to do, right? So, one of the things we can do is we can have Mark Herman teach everybody how to play Waterloo. So you go into a room, Mark Herman simulcast his Waterloo discussion. You can ask questions. It's live, and there could be 20, 24 people in the room, and then we set up 12 rooms for people to go out and play. And they match up and they go out and play. And if they have any questions over the next hour, they come back and ask Mark Herman. And some really cool opportunities, right? That this thing is infinitely scalable because we're not talking about the confines of a hotel that we have to rent. Or worse yet, room minimums or food minimums that we have to pay for to rent the hotel.
Yeah. What other questions do we have from the crowd over here? Fabrizio is saying he had difficulty to follow the live video with no audio. He was having difficulty there.
Yeah, I checked. Audio is working fine on my end for Facebook, which is where he's coming from. So it may be something on his end, but we're streaming audio just fine. We've got 9 other people on Facebook right now. So
okay. But yeah, it is true. You can scale it out to anything you want. You can do a lot of things that you weren't able to do before. And the other great thing about virtual is if you have somebody, like you're saying, with having people from Europe, having people from Australia, wherever they, it's just not really worth it for them to be able to fly, or they can't fly in a normal world. Well, guess what? They can jump online and they can teach people their game. They can talk about their game, and maybe they can pitch a game too, as well, to a publisher. So this is how digital stuff brings the world more closer together, and it makes that big world, that those big distances, seem a lot shorter, because you can bring everybody together in those things that we've kind of taken for granted, playing online and being able to join across time zones much more easy. And something like this does that very well.
I agree here.
We're trying to figure out the time zone thing. Much of what we have is West Coast, because so many of our players are West Coast. But Mark Herman and the Volko are both East Coast. We have people from Europe, so I think we may expand it. There's no reason we have to constrain it to 8 or 12 hours during a West Coast day.
Yeah.
Really, it could be 24 hours, and we could just have a continuous, and that way people from all over the world can match up. And it would be better, I think, for certainly, we have a lot of European gamers that are involved or want to be involved.
Well, that's where, we've talked about having, multiple events and stuff like that throughout the year. That's where you can have the standard crew for the West Coast, and then you can have another crew for the European, they could run the European events. And then when there's that changeover where everybody's together, then everybody can help run events and stuff. But then when they diverge, then the different crews can take over.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tim, the board game bloke, is, one of the 2 core members of this War Game Boot Camp. Tim mentions that we're going to have social events as well. So, if you're welcome to stop in wherever, but Mo and I will be around in the evenings doing a little recap of what has happened and what's coming up. I know that the Board Game Boot Camp is going to have a wind down event that happens in the evening, and they're just going to have their doors open. You can buy a ticket and hang out and talk about games, talk about what you played, what you liked, but also I think Tim is famous for doing some matchmaking then as well. So there's some pretty cool opportunities there to meet people and to do some interesting things.
I may do a bar area thing sometime in the evening as well, where you can guys come in, have a virtual drink, a real drink, whatever, talk about anything and just have some fun, because the social aspect is a really big part of a virtual convention, that it's an important part of it because we're all separated. And if you can get together and meet up and hang out with people you don't see, you've never met, you met them online, and you can put a face to their name, I think it's fantastic to have that connection, because one of the coolest things I find at game conventions is the fellowship. And it's even greater, I think, in wargaming, because we're a niche within a niche. And when you get people that are into, looking at 40, 50 page rule books with all these case numbers and everything, and everyone's like, this just drives me nuts. Yeah, it drove me nuts too. Well, this is what I did, and here's my interpretation. I didn't even think of that, and you have that camaraderie immediately. And that's one of the coolest things that is with the war game community. And if you have that social aspect, I think it's really cool and it's important to bring everybody together like that.
What did Bill Murray say in Stripes? We all have something in common. Mm-hmm. There's something wrong with us. There's something very, very wrong.
That's very true.
So, absolutely. The other cool thing that we're able to do is, there's a lot of prototypes involved, and so, while we can assemble a couple of people to play a prototype of a new game that somebody's putting out, we can also bring 50 people to look over their shoulders. Right?
Yes.
And that's another unique opportunity. And as I said, we're trying to capture some of those on video. But
Cards Against Grognards.
Nice.
Can you see Pratik? So Pratik's one of the inner circle and setting this up above. He says, "Don't say it, don't say it." And he says, "It's like watching your CEO compromise on NBC. Overpromise on CNBC.
It's going to be quarterly. No, it's going to be monthly.
Monthly. It's going to be continuous.
Buy.
365. Sorry, Pratik. I'm sorry. Take it all back.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And, the other thing, too, is going back to what I said earlier about being an attendee at the con. I've been to multiple cons, different WBC, BGG Con, all these different conventions. And one of the coolest things that Harold had mentioned was the ratio of designers to attendees is astronomical. I'd say it's somewhere in the 10 and 20% range, at least, because everywhere you turn, you're bumping it. Oh, hey, I bought your game. Hey, I bought your game, and when you meet these guys and you talk with them and you just sit down, they're just a joy to be around. They're fantastic people, and they thrive on listening to you give feedback or ask questions about their games because of the amount of effort they put into them, and the fact that you're deep diving into them and you're looking at things that makes them think a little bit sometimes too. Like, oh yeah, that's an interesting aspect of the game I didn't maybe explore as much as you are as the gamer. So there's a lot of good feedback, a lot of I think it's great for them as well as it is for the gamers to have that circle going, that continuous feedback, because they get to hear what the gamer thinks, and you hear what the designer wanted, what they were going for in their design intent. So when you have that constantly, and it's just really like at arm's length, it's just a fantastic experience.
Yeah, agreed.
Devin bailed out.
I think he just popped out for a second.
A lot of stress.
He's Pancaldi's texting him.
He's got to get ready for the show.
Wait, I think Pancaldi's attacked him and denial of service attack by Dan Pancaldi. Very funny.
Denial of Pancaldi attack.
Denial of Pancaldi. That's pretty good.
Fabrizio really misses conventions since he started as a game designer, is able to attend a convention only twice. And you know what? Fabrizio needs the conventions because with his games, you can't just kind of sit down. I mean, you can, and that would be a good thing for you to do, Fabrizio, is to have that virtual distance teaching thing with your games, because his games are not simple 5-minute games to learn. They take some effort, and they're fantastic games. So
great games, though. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We enjoy him here. We've been playing, and he's also sponsored our convention once with a big game.
Nice. So. There you go, Dave Thompson talking about Nothing better than playing a game you designed
Everyone
with players
raised
at a con.
Did they agree that Devin's going to be nominated for that category?
For which
Yeah.
category?
Which category?
Yes.
Don't worry, you weren't there. You don't get
Oh,
to
that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in preparation, I thank you now all for the nomination.
There you go.
What was that, Sally Field? They really like me.
I nominate him for best map graphics.
Oh wow!
Stay tuned for Tuesday's show. We'll be talking all about that on Whiskey Charlie.
That's funny.
Oh man!
You know, David talks about playing games with people that like your game at the con, and I do a good bit of that. One of my favorite conventions when we were face to face was that GMT Games convention at the warehouse in Hanford. Now, that's a religious experience. If anybody's ever considered that, that's a blast. Have you guys done that, David or Devin? We need to get you on the West Coast so you can go to that.
Well, I am on the West Coast. I'm up in Seattle. I just don't get a chance to travel very often. So
Gotcha. Yeah.
I make it to Game On every year, but that's about the extent. So
yeah, it's good fun. It's a challenge because you think that people will be a little bit kinder face to face than they will be online about your game, but that's not true.
That's not true either.
No, not true. It's not true. And I get, I play up there at SanDiego at GMT, and there are a ton of fans of Liberty or Death or some of the other stuff I'm doing, and it's all very nice. But every now and then somebody will just give me both barrels. You know what? That game that you worked 50,000 hours on sucks.
You just charge them double next year.
That's right. That's funny.
Well, hopefully they give you more feedback than just saying it sucks. I mean, it sucks because I would.
Oh yeah. It's the for my game, it's mostly for Liberty or Death. It's mostly people disagreeing with the history. It was only the British and the Patriots, and shut up about bringing anybody else into the fight.
Well, I think the French were kind of somewhat important.
They were highly important. Yeah, yeah.
I think that one of the aspects of that game that is the hardest to get into from a mental standpoint for just the average gamer off the street would be the Indians. Anybody knows the French and Patriots and the British would understand. Okay, yeah, this makes sense, but the Indian edition is where I think may throw some people off. And that is one of those things where they just have to understand the history a little bit better, read a little bit of the designer's notes, understand, read the posts you've made about it, the things you've said about it as well, and they'll then get a better understanding of why they're in there.
Well, it's funny. For me, the Zen in life is accepting the fact that there are multiple correct answers to virtually every complex question.
Mm-hmm.
And the sooner you accept that reality of life, your blood pressure goes down, your friendlier disposition. But
anybody says anything about them arguing with you, just say 42. That's it. It's over.
It's it. Yeah. So, David, is that LNL World Headquarters there in the background? Is this what we're looking at?
Yeah, this is just my office in the house. We actually had offices, and then when the mortgage crisis hit, everyone was selling everything. And the gentleman who owned our building, we're still good friends, and but he got an offer literally for over $100,000 over what the building was worth.
Wow.
And he said, I just can't pass up. I said, I wouldn't want you to. He gave me this gigantic table. It's 22 feet?
Wow.
3 feet long. I can fit any game on there I want. And so I
could assemble some serious geomorphic maps on a table like that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this is more for the dog, I guess, if anything over there. And I got dogs under my feet because my wife leaves the dogs with me for reasons I don't know.
So is your inventory in the house there or in a garage, or do you keep it out of the storage?
When we moved out of the office, we put it here, and that was before the trucks and everything used to show up. And I just said, this is ridiculous. I said, first of all, I'm not that thin, and there's not that much room, so we gotta we got a warehouse down in town, and it's a fulfillment center. And I didn't know that at the time. Strategically, they do work for the post office, so they're considered an essential business, so they don't get shut down too often because of the COVID. So when a lot of the companies got shut down, they couldn't ship. That really didn't affect us too badly. We have every time someone gets sick now, they seem harsher now with the lockdown of the businesses than they did during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So I have no idea.
That's good. I really, when we went into this, I was concerned because of the economic hit that we were taking, that we'd see sales drop dramatically across the publishers, but that doesn't seem to be the case, huh?
Initially, no. I think a lot of people didn't know how long it was going to be, and they went out and bought, a game or two, or they, probably like every other game, it took one of the 36 games they haven't opened yet.
Right.
Looked at them. The big thing I think benefited us was when this started, we pushed the initiative to do the tabletop simulator and make those companion books, and
The digital games too. The
digital games. And we made them only a couple of bucks, so people could try them out, play them, and the computer games have sold through the roof. And the digital books, once people understood what the books were, I found the biggest problem is getting them to understand what you're doing. And part of the reason we do the video show. But with the companion books, we're well over, the worst selling book out of all the games is well over 500 copies already.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I think people like the fact that, I think a lot of more people than you realize only play online, only can play on Vassal. And now that they don't have to buy the whole game, they can buy the book. And we tell people, we consider it like a digital license.
Yeah.
And I think Wargamers, unlike maybe a lot of other organizations and stuff, or businesses, or customer base, are pretty honest. And if they're going to play a game more than half of a second, they're going to buy the game or buy what they need to play online.
Yeah. That is one of the things that I've always liked about the online implementations, and the response you get from people is, even if they don't have a game, the rule book is available online, and so everything's available online digitally, say for a game X. They'll go download the Vassal and they'll check it out and say, yeah, this is kind of cool. I'm going to go buy it now because this is a game I want, and me personally, the Vassal's great. It's a great way to play, especially if it's a big game, because setup and takedown is really easy. But when it comes to actually playing the game, I still want the tactile feel of playing a game. So I'll use Vassal as a way to test something. It's a demo, as well as to play something I have, but I prefer still the hands-on playing a board game. But that will give me a good feeling as that, yeah, this game's for me, or this game's not for me. And it's like, oh, I checked it out, and it's not for me. Or, yeah, I did. I'll go drop $80 and go buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know what it is? It's options. You're giving the people the most options possible. And you were saying, hey, you can play, this game online, play it by yourself, play it with a friend. You can play the board game. Same reason we make the solitaire rules. You can play it with your friends if you're into the board games. And one thing people, I think, realize, and maybe don't mentally realize, is you're giving a way for them to play your game. So once you learn it once, it's the same game on the computer. It's the same game on Tabletop Simulator, same game through Vassal. And I think the industry, my personal opinion, needs to get out of the disco era of the 70s. Yeah. Which is why we do full color now and not 2-color print anymore, and why the rule books need to be 12-point and not 8-point, because most of our gaming crowd can't see.
Yeah, there's still some games though that'll print that way. I mean, I got a White Dog game I did a preview on, the DNB and Fu one, the Lost Valley, and I opened that box. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" It's like I need a magnifying glass or one of those magnifying sheets to put over top of it to look at it. And thankfully, though, they had corrected the rule book on their website, and I could print it out at regular readable font, because I was like, man, this is no.
Yeah, when we were doing World at War, I had made, I think Harold said, I overpromised. Yeah, we'll make it so it's compatible with the old game. And as everyone knows from the old edition, the font was not the best choice, I guess, to use as a printable font. And it was so small with all those numbers. I remember printing it out on a digital printer, and I have it right here. I wanted these to blow it up. And I said, I can't read the numbers with the glasses and the magnifying thing on the printout. And I said, I'm just going to have to take a hit and tell people it can't be compatible because we had to make the counters bigger. It was unreadable.
Yeah.
And at that point, I realized I was turning into my father, and I couldn't see anymore. But the only real complaints we get now is about the colorblind. And I saw a post just the other day about the colors. And, just for those who don't know, Keith put a lot of research in there checking out colorblind. And there's over 300 different types of colorblindness.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of that, David, that's a really great opportunity. If anybody in the audience, I was going to say this the other day too, when we had talked about it, is to project that out there and get that out to people. If you are colorblind, and there's different types of colorblind, like you were just saying, contact publishers and say, hey, I'd like to help proof some of these things for you digitally. I have this color blindness. I have that color blindness, whatever. Get involved. That's how things get corrected, is by helping out, because people who are not colorblind don't even a lot of times consider that. So you need to make sure that you're proactive.
That's the biggest problem. I mean, when Keith told me there was, I was thinking, well, one sort of, color blindness is, my stupidity was, okay, everyone sees black and white who's colorblind. I didn't really know anything about it until Keith and I started talking about it. And I said, well, let's do our best to, see if we can eliminate that.
Well, colorblind is more color shift.
This thing about every day, the bottom line is you want people to play your game. Otherwise, what are you making games for?
Mm-hmm. Have you run into that issue, Harold, ever? With any of your games? Has anybody complained about colorblind issues?
No, I've been pretty lucky. The Liberty or Death sold a large number of units, and we haven't received much feedback on that. And I don't get the font complaint too much because I used wooden pieces and there's no numbers on them, right? So that's kind of nice, but the thing is that there's just so many people doing graphics, right? And that it's hard to, all these lessons learned, we learn after we do a number of games and then didn't think about them at first. So people are going to make mistakes. This is a tiny little hobby. It's like errata, right? I mean, we're not Hasbro. We don't have the resources for proofreaders and play testers. And frankly, it's an all volunteer army. Guys like David driving around the Cadillacs, but basic designers like me, the per hour. I mean, for all of us, right? The per hour pay is virtually nothing. So, I think part of it is we also have to be tolerant of, a lot of people that are hobbyists doing the best they can. And I feel for anybody that's colorblind and has trouble reading. I'm blue-black colorblind. And I have sensitivities. There are things that I see as problems. But like David, the biggest problem I have are small fonts. And I wonder if we're going to start. I wonder if we're moving away from these little chit counters. Is that
to what?
Is the future? Fewer and fewer counters, more markers of different kinds. I mean, I hate to say this in a room full of grognards, but it really is these chits are really a relic of the past.
But you replace them with it, though. That's the whole thing. I mean,
what do we do with this?
If you have a tactical game,
miniatures players play all the time without chits.
Yeah, but now you're making the hobby probably 10 times more expensive.
No, I don't see. I'm just saying that there's got to be a different way to do it. I love Uwe Eichert talks frequently about, if you ever talk to him about what he's doing with Panzer Group Guderian, he's not going to end up with wood pieces, but he simplified that game so much. And because, it's one of my favorite games of all time, and I will play it any time with anybody. And I will crush you, by the way, Mo, if you're thinking about playing with me. But I'm just teasing. But it's also it's got CRTs and all sorts of terrain effects and tables, and it's just, you can make it so much simpler by rethinking it. And we need more of that, and less of the archaic systems of the 70s that I still like playing, but we're smarter now. We know better.
Well, things have evolved already, like with the coin system and the use of the wood bits instead of, there's still counters out there, but because you're always going to need counters of some sort to, whether it's to give a number of a value of something, or, what the status of something is, or what the state is on the board, you're always going to need something to do that. And
certainly the games that you guys do, right, and you guys do tactical games, and that's where the small differences between the characteristics of these troops and weapons makes such a big difference that you really have to have that. So it's much harder. It's much easier for a game that represents an army or a regiment as a piece to simplify that out. But when you're talking about individual, a tank platoon or a squad, it's a different story.
Yeah, and I think the smaller scale you go down, I think the more you kind of need counters, or you need something. Not there with electronics yet to be able to do that well.
But I love the chit pull initiative, David, that's in your games. I think that it's the way to go. It just drives such great narrative as opposed to the I go you go stuff of the past. So I think that's wonderfully progressive.
Love chit pull. I think chit pull is, it's probably my favorite mechanic, because especially for solitaire, because one of the big obstacles a lot of people when they're making that transition from 2-player to solitaire is, I don't see the point here, because I'm used to trying to compete to beat someone. When you're playing solitaire, you're trying to beat yourself, or you're trying to make let the narrative evolve. And that's the best part about chit pull, is you don't have to worry about, should I let the Germans go first or the Soviets go first or whatever. There's none of this, well, if I do this, I'm kind of cheating myself. Nope. Throw them all in a bag, pull them out. Hey, this guy goes first, and that's it. And then it's out of your hands. Fate decides.
What I like most about the feature is it really stopped. My favorite Civil War game is Across the 5 Aprils by Eric Lee Smith. And I liked it because you literally can play that game to the last turn, to last chit pull, and you never knew when combat was going to happen. You never knew when it was going to take place. With that system, for those who don't know it, you have a Union Confederate combat, and each one had its own chip, and then you had one for each movement for each group on the map. And if you pulled out Confederate combat, all the combat had to take place. You could mix chip, you could pull out, could have been Union combat, and then everyone moves, or some other combination. But I found it, I personally think that was probably one of the most ingenious designs you've ever played, because you just didn't know, and you can't game the system, which is what I really like about it. And I think that's what a lot of the chip pull systems that we do give you that. So it's a little bit less gamey in the sense of, hey, it's I go, you go, which some of my favorite games are like that too. But that's
Stalingrad, Russian campaign.
Yeah. And
how cool is that? Talking to Russian campaign, how cool is that Compass is releasing the original as well as the Constant Press GMT one that's coming out, the 5th edition, that's going to have everything in it, including the kitchen sink. So you're going to have you want the Super Deluxe Director's version, or do you want the basic back to basics version? You're going to have the option to have both. I wonder how many more publishers are going to do stuff like that, where we've got these complex versions of games coming out, and it's like, well, maybe go back and just reprint the original with the updated errata, updated map graphics, bigger font, things like that. But I think it's kind of neat to revisit some of those old classics, because maybe people haven't played it in 30 years because they lost their copy, or got lost in a move, or got sold in a garage sale or whatever, and then they want to introduce it to their kids. So it'd be a great way to revisit some of those old titles.
Now, David, you said earlier, you said something that caused me a little bit of concern. You said that you founded The Matrix. I've seen that movie, and that's I don't think that's a good thing.
Only if we win. No.
That's why in all of David's games, each of them comes with a red pill.
It was funny. We picked the name of the company based off because of that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had a business meeting and talking about doing Matrix games, and we were running a very early war game news site called the Gamers Network, and the debate was, anyone can do what we were doing on that site. How can we do something that you can't copy easily? And the idea was to update Steel Panther's World at War, that's what it became. And Joe Billings was very nice to let us have the source code, which you don't really see much of those type of things going on. Right. And we updated it, added sound effects, and we had a meeting, and we went that night to see this Matrix. And I remember the very first scene, we all turned around and said, "Oh yeah, this is going to be good." And the thing that got us at the end was when you saw the code inside of all the people and all the things, we said, "Oh," and that's how we came up with the name.
You guys didn't like sleep in pods or anything?
Not that we were told.
Yeah. Well, we don't know. We might be doing it.
But the reason that David really wanted to do the Matrix thing is because he thought the way Neo was moving was really cool, and he was really disappointed that he couldn't do that after naming the country.
I needed an upgrade. Right?
That's right. Snap
Just
it.
download whatever you need to learn. That would be Imagine that for war gamers. Oh, that would be awesome.
That's not for anything.
Yeah.
Recipes.
But I'm just thinking about it for war gamers. For war gamers, like I've got this. Everyone complains about they've got this growing pile of war games that hasn't been played because you don't have time, and a lot of the time is learning the game. How awesome would that be? I want to learn how to play, the African campaign, or I should say the campaign for North Africa. Boom, just download it. Know how to play the game. Let's go. I'll be like, okay.
I don't know if any that would fix that problem with that game.
I think that's the only way you'd be able to play ASO completely and fully.
Yes, I can see that. You may need an upgrade for the upgrade for that.
And be comfortable that you're getting the rules right.
Right.
Yeah. And it would come with all downloaded errata and everything. That would be pretty cool. But I think anybody else have any questions for Harold for the convention? I think we might have hit all of them so far.
I'm gonna bail out and let you guys talk amongst yourselves. David and Devin, thank you for inviting me to.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming. We really appreciate it.
Great seeing you guys, and Devin, looking forward to you and the crew playing some games. David, thank you for your generous support of the convention as always. We love having you and your games around, and we're heavily addicted. And I'm gonna go ahead and let's see. Heath will be the winner of a mask. So Heath will, if you can contact me either through these guys or otherwise, I'm available on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, not TikTok. You will not find me on TikTok. But Heath will contact me and I'll get you the mask. And hope you're coming to the con. Anybody else, if you're coming to the con, get there early. Come Thursday, get up to speed on everything. Devin, I'm sure you're an expert on Discord, so you don't need it, but just in case.
Yep, I'm good to go on it.
Come by and let us get you up to speed. And that's it. No worries, Heath. Well, we'll give it. I'll get it out to the EU. I promise you. So just send me your address, and we'll see if we can make it work. All right, very good. Thanks, guys.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks, Harold.
Bye. Go Bucks.
We lost Mo. Were we supposed
hell,
to lose
man?
Mo?
Really, man?
I didn't think we were gonna kick Mo.
Kick me while I'm down. Kick me in the shin. I'll kick you back. No, it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be real fun. And, like I said before, Harold has really done a fantastic job bringing a crew together for this. And one of the biggest obstacles with these online conventions is the coordination. No one knows what they're doing yet. And, not everyone here does either. But we're looking at, he's looking at all the different, he's trying to look at all the angles possible. And he assembled a crew that did that as well. and I think it's gonna be a really good time.
All right. Hey, we're going to take one more break. We'll be right back, guys. Hold on.
You're listening to On the Air with Lock and Load Publishing, and we'll be right back.
Transmitting from the front lines of the wargaming world. You are watching Friendly Fire. Friendly Fire. The show where you can watch, learn, and even play our games live online. We will be showing some of our favorite tactics and answer your game questions. This is Friendly Fire.
I love watching Devin in the backstage part because he's always dancing a little bit around. He's getting into
the only time I dance is for this show. That's it. You can ask my wife. That's pretty much the only time I've danced in the last 30 years. So
nothing says friends like Friendly Fire.
That's right.
It's like Friendly Fire is such a misnomer, but it's so used, that's why they started using like blue on blue, things like that. But it just reminds me of one of my favorite little things that you say. It's like, once the pin is pulled, Mr. Grenade is not your friend.
Your friend.
Hey, Mo, here's something for you.
Will there be notifications of cancellations for the con so I can buy a badge? I will have to ask Harold on that for sure. I think there will be. I'm not sure if he's going to be sending that out through an online notification or if there's going to be like a wait list or how that's going to be handled. I'll have to ask Harold on that and get back to you, Ruff. Let you know. But
I don't know who he is, but there's an answer possibly.
There have been a couple of cancellations. Oh, there's Harold right there.
Oh, Harold, you got to use your real name. How am I supposed to know that?
He did. HP.
It just says HP. It doesn't tell me that.
So Ruff says he's going to check it out. So there you go. So he's still lurking and watching. So stop talking bad about him.
Bad.
Are you going to be fully recovered by the time the con starts from the 10th?
Oh, I'll be recovered from the 10th for sure. I have to be recovered because on Friday morning, I'm going in for a nerve block for my back. So
okay.
I'll be doing that. And then I'll be, recovered by the afternoon for that. I should
okay.
Well, I'll be awake, I should say. I don't know if I'll be necessarily recovered, but hopefully that nerve won't be too irritated from it. But this is the next best thing not the next best thing, but it's better than going and getting it fused right now. So
yeah.
We'll hold off on that for a few years. Yeah. So, and disc replacement is really not feasible in the lower back area. So I had to compare to the two that I got in the neck. So
right.
It's not one thing, it's another, but I'll definitely be enjoying the 10th. We'll be doing Whiskey Charlie on Tuesday night for the 10th. And one of the things we'll be doing is a toast to the Marine Corps birthday. So that's what the 10th is for those who don't know. It's the 245th birthday of the United States Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Oh, so Harold did say he is here to listen in case you guys say anything bad about him. So don't say anything bad.
He's not there now, so you can't rebuttal.
But so what else do you have for the audience here today, aside from just having us on to talk about the convention? You have games and stuff. Here I am hosting your show, so Devin, you should be doing the host. I
keep telling him I'm the Ed McMahon to his Johnny Carson. I'm just here to look pretty and crack the occasional joke. So
well, you're cracking jokes if you're saying you're here to be pretty. So
yeah. Then my job here is complete.
There you go. What were you saying, Dave? Hoorah.
We don't. I mean, basically, it's the same update we had last week, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Nothing's changed. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff behind the scenes, but we can't say anything about it yet because
we can't talk about that. Oh,
right. Yeah, not that or the other thing.
Or the girls. Don't forget. No talk about the girls either.
I wasn't even going to bring that up.
What girls? Are you holding out on me, David?
Oh, we didn't tell Devin.
So yeah, most of the stuff is all behind the scenes stuff since we had for the announcements from last week. Nothing has progressed very much, so I'm not sure Unless you just want to rehash the same stuff that we've gone over the last couple episodes.
The counters are still being printed, and
right, which happened much quicker than we thought they were going to happen.
Yes, they did, and I can't get an update from China until tomorrow late afternoon because they're a day ahead of us. So they're Sunday there now. Some serious progress has been made with Point Blank. Okay, so Sean's doing a good job. I will say this because we didn't see this last week. I don't know if Johnny's watching. If he is, feel free to laugh either way. This is Johnny Grogan. Okay, and
damn.
Okay.
Damn, Johnny. I mean,
he's a handsome man.
No, but that's why I was saying, damn. I was like, damn, Johnny, why'd you got to go with the whole phrase? All you need to have is a towel around your neck, and it looks like a mugshot.
Well, that's to say we don't have mug shots, right?
Yeah, there you go.
The reason Johnny's picture's up here, okay, is because we have counters being made up for different games and leaders, as Lock and Load Tactical. And if you go to our forums and you go to Lock and Load Tactical for the board game, and there's a spot for you to upload your picture, tell us what nation you would like to be, okay, and last name, and you just give us permission, and then we do something like this to the counter. Okay, nice. And it gives you guys a chance. There's no charge for it. Someone had asked me before, said that we used to charge for that. We have never charged for that, not at least since I owned the company. Previously, I believed it was, but I really don't know. I really don't think he charged then either, but I could be wrong. But either way, we don't charge for it. If we're going to put fake names and fake faces on the counter, why not put real people who play the games who will get a kick out of, and where else could you kill a Mo Marine counter? Okay, or a
Devin, can't be done.
Yeah, you can't
can't be done.
Okay, well,
there's an eye on my counter, indestructible.
Well, the only thing I do know, there's a special rule that whenever you fail morale, we let you re-roll. So there you go.
Yes.
Okay, so anyway, that's there. Christmas sale. Okay, right. I haven't got a chance to put the Christmas sale up, or holiday sale, or whatever you want to call it. It should go up between now and, I'm going to say, Tuesday at the latest. Okay, so start looking for it. There will be no code. It'll just be a discount on all the games. Well, not all the games. Most of the games, if not all the games.
Tuesday of which week?
What?
Tuesday of which week?
He didn't say.
Say, and you're giving away my secrets, you bastard. Okay. And as soon as those games, the counters get made, just, we're going to put them up on the store. So there very might be a chance to get those games before Christmas. Okay. Now, the window greatly shrinks the longer it takes for these counters to get here, but we're flying them in. They're not coming in on boats because, honestly, I hate boats at this point. It just takes too damn long. Okay. And
is Blackwell in training for that? Getting his arm strong enough?
No. Blackwell's
no, is he getting his arm strong enough for the flying him in?
No, I have to get a real plane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then the second those games come in, they will be, I'm pretty well sure, flown off to second chance games in England for the European guys. If you have any questions on that, let me know.
So Ruff is looking for a cosmetic lift.
Well, if you give us a picture and you say we can darken the beard, we might be able to darken the beard there, buddy.
Pretty sure Dennis has already sent us a picture, and it's up on the the message board already. So it's been a couple days since I checked, but I'm fairly certain Dennis has got it.
We should do a show with a catwalk, and then we show the actual image we've got and what we turned into a counter. Now, Ivan may become a miracle worker at that point for some. But
some of the work he's done already, he's already been a miracle worker for some of us. So I'll just leave it at that. So.
Okay.
Hethwell's got an interesting question.
In many miniature war game shows, the publisher subcon.
con-specific scenarios? And there are some that are done.
Multi-Man Publishing for ASL, always their whatever their big con is. They always have a con-specific module, but that's really the only company out there that I can think of that does that.
Lock and Load used to do it way back before I owned it for different things. I know because Sean made up some scenarios for the Nations at War series. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. We don't normally do that. Put it this way: if we were going to a con, be it Harold's or anybody else, and we knew we were going to run an event and we're going to have 12 people. Yeah, I think I would probably ask some of the designers to give us a scenario. The benefit of not doing that really is we can get scenarios that have been played so much and we know how balanced they are. And you want to make sure that scenarios are balanced more than anything.
The other big thing too is you want to make sure that people who are going to be running the demo know that demo real well. Then there's no gotchas.
Well, it's not just I think he's talking more of a tournament aspect. You play a battle in 2 out of 3. You really don't have to know it. You have to know the rules, of course. But either way, I would say, and it's, it takes so much effort. I mean, to go to a con, especially now that we're in Colorado, we used to be on the East Coast, hop in the van and we would go. But now it's a lot more different. You got to fly inventory. You've got to, fly all the people in. That we've always had to do. And that that's where most of our expense comes in. We try to get as many designers and other people flown in, to be face to face with these guys, discuss what we're going to go the next 12 months. So that's where we put all the time and effort into it. And of course, drinking after the evening of the con, you can't be thinking about
WBC. WBC is the great place to be for that because it's a long convention. So
the best was watching Dan and Mark Herman completely loaded at WBC the last time we were there, and it was supposed to be a couple of sips or two. And poor Dan, I thought we were going to have to pour him into his room. He was pretty well done.
Well, that's where we did that little impromptu chat a few years ago at WBC, and Uva was sitting next to me, and it started off that bottle of Crown was full, and then it just kept getting lower and lower by the end of the show. It was just one of those things where it was fun. We just rambled and had a good time. It was just, like I said, impromptu. So hopefully we'll get back to WBC and we'll be able to do more coordinated events where we can schedule them and let everybody know ahead of time.
He gave us a whole press room to use now. So we have a whole little studio audience. I mean, you can dress up like Egg McMahon. I can be a Johnny Carson when we get there.
I think I can find a plaid suit someplace. Yeah. So.
Where I want to know where, because that store has got to be
his closet.
His closet. Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure my father had a plaid business suit back in the day.
Really?
I'm a little bit bigger than he is, so I probably go to a Goodwill or a secondhand store and probably find them.
Nice. So. Yeah, that would be fun.
So, hey guys, you got any questions for us? Anything you want us to talk about in particular? We really picked the episode to be about the con. We wanted to promote it before the event next week, and it's a lot of fun. I don't know if you guys have been catching. I did throw up a little mini commercial there. I know Devin and Johnny have been playing on Friendly Fire, and it's a show where you guys can play against Devin or against Johnny or watch these two play. And it's more playing the game, offering suggestions, telling them why they don't know the rules right, things like that. Stefan seems to enjoy that. I was watching.
Stefan loves correcting us. He's our biggest poster. So again, I've said it 1,000 times. Lock and Load Tactical would not be in the state it is in, progressing and advancing forward without Stefan's diligent work in keeping David and I honest.
I mean. I'm sure we said this before, but we were going over the 5-1 rules, and it wasn't the rule changes. Those are easy. It was the clarifications and corrections, getting them all to be the same everywhere. And I remember doing, oh my God, I thought we were done at 12. We're up to 24 now, and we were still going strong. Revision.
24 revisions. Yeah. David was sure we were going to be done at about 9, maybe 11. I was thinking, yeah, no, we'll make it to 12. No, when we hit 27, it's like,
yeah, it was tough. But, I have to say, as much as I hate when my email chimes and I see his name, what is the rule correction?
He's usually right. And
9 out of 10 times he was right. It really needed to be adjusted.
Yeah.
You know what? Look at how much better it is now.
Mhm.
And I will say this, the attention to detail that man has is incredible. Just incredible. He reminds me of Daniel Jackson in SG-1, Stargate.
Yes.
That's what he reminds me of. He knows what he knows, and move aside, peasant.
Yep. Yep. And he is not shy about letting you know when you're wrong.
Yes.
Which is fine. That's nothing wrong with that. So
Ruff says, I'll get to your question in a second. The companion books, by the way, all the companion books that have been updated have all the corrections in it, with step by Stefan. So any scenario corrections, any typos, any wrong units, anything with there's in it, plus all the rules are in there, been updated, module rules. There was no updates. All 99.9% is clarifications and corrections, updating the scenarios. But we did put all of the charts and tables and the unit cost chart for the design your own in the back of that booklet. So if you have the rules, whether printed or digital, and you just want to play online, those are the books we're talking about. You guys get in the companion books. All right, Rough Swordsman. I'm a big Nations at War fan. Any news in Tigers and Snow and victory at Stalingrad? Well, just like the 6th Army, we're surrounded in no. What we think we're going to do, and this is really more me, is we're going to, I think we're going to update the series. So we're not going to make it more complicated, anything else. We're just going to make it where the numbers are in the same spot and the look and feel in the same spot as World at War 85. We've got an exorbitant amount of people have asked us about doing that because the numbers aren't in the same spot all the time, and one has to strive, one doesn't. So we're thinking of just making the new game on a new module for that, or a new style for that. So that you're going to have to give us a little more time on. Plus, Sean, who's supposed to be doing Tigers and Snow and Victory Stalingrad, he is finishing up, and I won't let him stop. Point Blank.
Yep.
And that game is very close to being ready for Kickstarter time.
And that's a big key right now, is getting everything out to Kickstarter.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, I get bitches about why it's taking so long, because I watch my own drummers, guys, and and I don't want to hear you bitch and moan when it's wrong, and I've given you guys way too much opportunity to do that, so we're trying to improve upon that. So that's where we are with that. And does anybody have any questions about anything else that they want to know about? What's coming out? What's not coming out?
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Or
until
at least
next week.
Until next week when we do the next show.
Someone's asking. Yes, the big announcement isn't ready yet, but it's very close.
Which one?
I can't tell you.
It's the big one.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that one.
So, trying to see, and we all going to probably have quite a few more shows. Normally, we try to do a show every other week or show once a month.
Once a month is what we kind of been averaging. Yeah,
we've been really busy the last couple of weeks with what's going on.
Hathawell's got one. Nations at War digital upgrade.
Oh, funny that you mentioned that. Hold on. Okay. I have it right here. The programmers are doing it. They're tackling some tricky issues. I owe Daniel an email back, which I'm going to leave here now so I don't forget again. I keep forgetting to do this for him. And I even think I have picture. Okay. I'll try to upload this in 1 second, guys. Yeah, I'm going to give him a list of features. I don't know how to best do this. Maybe after the show, I'll talk to Devin about it. He's got a list of a whole bunch of features we can add. Okay. But we want to prioritize them. So I don't know, maybe we do a poll or some other way to best do that. So it's basically more information, kind of what you've been seeing done with Lock and Load Tactical. Dan, he's not. I mean, I've seen some posts on Steam and on the forums. Oh, what's taking them so long? I've dealt with a lot of programmers, especially being at Matrix, and trying to sometimes get these programmers to do anything is like the Manhattan Project. Okay, it's very long, very tedious, and everyone has a better way of doing it. The nice thing I have to really say about Daniel and his team is, when we talked about Unity and what the engine is currently on Java, he took some time, researched it, came back. He says, we can do it, but it's going to take me this long. Now, I speak programming code, meaning that I know that this long really means this long. Okay. And you know what? He keeps me informed, and he's doing an excellent job, guys. So you have a much better game once he's done AI features and stuff like that. One of the things we want him to add is game over statistics, and he's working that in there, so you can see how many units you killed. A line of sight tool, which I think would also be very helpful. I'm trying to see some other stuff, and these aren't going to be day one. No, they could be day one. I can't really say they're not. Give it a player dice rolling options when you're playing by yourself, because you really don't need the tension of the dice roll you're playing by yourself. So there's that. Let me see. Infinite play, options for alternate player turns. I don't know about that. I think that would change the system. And some of this stuff, like I said, I owe him this email. I just haven't been able to do it yet. So it's not a great update, guys, but hopefully it's a some update.
I do have to jump off because I am a little late in owing my wife some time to clear out our shed we were working on. So I'm going to go jump off and do that.
Better you than me.
Well, I got to do it now because they figure, I'm going in for the thing with the back on Friday. So it's like, you know what? It's going to hopefully be kind of fixed then. So, or at least for a little while. So I was going to go break the back now while I can.
Probably a good idea.
Do it, yeah.
Exactly. So thanks for having us on, guys. And thanks for having me on again. I will see you guys in the next show. And well, maybe not. Well, we're going to do another one next week or week after?
Well, next week you have the
con. Yeah.
Con. So if you want one of us or any of us, let me know.
Yeah, we'll do. All right, guys.
All right.
See you guys later.
Take care. Okay, we got some other questions here.
Yep.
Okay, Jim. Did I miss someone's question?
Nope.
Yeah, no, I'm thrilled that they're upgrading it. And I will make an effort to get some more information for that for the next show we do. Jim? Yeah, you know what? The guy who did Lock and Load Tactical Digital, Tom Proudfoot, I've been working with Tom since my earliest days at when I started Matrix. He did all the upgrades for me, a lot of the upgrades for Steel Panther's World at War. He's done a lot of he did actually, I think he did Steel Panthers 2 or 3. I can't remember. I think it was 3 actually.
I think it was 3, yeah.
And he, it was him and I have worked together, so he already knows what I like and don't like, and I already know what he likes and don't like. And my basic rule is, you're the programmer, damn it. You should know what you're doing better than I do. And he does. I mean, you don't want me programming anything because I can't code. Daniel, this was the first game. Actually, I take that back. Daniel, this was the first game we worked with. But his partner, which we worked on 1 or 2 other games, he just does a great job, and I think you'll find that the new version helpful. Let me just see if I can upload that picture while I'm talking to you guys. Hold on. And I may have shown this once before, but I don't remember. Desktop. And I'm not saying this is the greatest or best picture. It's just what I happen to have in the email. So, do I have another picture? No. I think this is a different picture, guys. Okay, going back there. Okay. So that is it, and the object is to, let me see if I can get rid of that text. Hold on. There you go. And this was just, like I said, him showing me the progress of it. It's going to allow for a lot more units and a possibility of us having an iPad version because we're using the engine for that. So I hope that shows you a little bit what we're looking at as far as the new edition. Okay. And one is the Kickstarter for Volume 2. I don't know. How's that? Did I see odds? I'm not 100% sure. We're putting all the graphics into the Kickstarter now to set them up. And whatever one's done closest first, point blank, or the World at War. Now, I believe Volume 2 and 3 are going to be going together at the same time. Okay, at least that's the idea of what we're going to do. I've had 1 or 2 people complain it may make it too expensive for them. But for the most part, people like the idea of it because we can literally print them simultaneously, ship them simultaneously. I'm looking now for those who haven't seen it. Let's see. No, I don't have the image on here for this. I thought I did, but I guess I don't. I do know, I think, was it last show we talked about the new setup areas?
Yes.
So the book will have a lot more improved ways of showing you how you're going to set up the scenarios, showing you what forces go where. Keith did talk about that last show. If we missed that, I would pick it up. We are working on, it will not be in the batch account that's coming now, but we are going to be doing what is known as the State of Siege game. We're calling it Line of Defense series for us. And we're going to be doing a game on the Battle for the Chosen Reservoir during the Korean War. And we have a few other things like that maybe popping up. Miss any other comments there, buddy?
Not that I'm seeing.
All right. Do we have any more idea of a schedule? I guess you won't be doing it this week coming because you have the convention.
Oh, for the Friendly Fire episode? Yeah, the original plan was I was going to do it the 15th, and I forgot that we actually were doing the con that weekend. So probably the 22nd is when the next episode is going to be. Johnny and I have talked about it a little bit. He wants to do Heroes of the Falklands. So we're probably going to be doing Heroes of the Falklands as our next one.
Okay.
Don't know what scenario yet, but that's the one we are planning on doing.
Now, the sneaky thing is, I've been hoping to get Mark to give me the rest of the maps for Heroes Road to Stalingrad.
Ooh,
now,
if we could get that.
Maybe we can get Uwe to put that up there and let you show a playtest scenario of that.
Yes, that would be great. I'd love to show off some of those scenarios. Designers always love showing off their works and fawning over it like a child, and get very heartbroken when people don't like our scenarios. But it happens, so we learn to live with it.
I've never had anyone never like anything I haven't done yet. All right, then, guys, we're going to call it a wrap. It's almost 2 hours again.
Well, this is a short episode. We went to about an hour 50. Normally we go 2.5 hours. So this is It's just been a short one.
I guess we're getting more bored and not as much interesting things to say.
Or we're getting old, one of the two, something. I don't know.
All right, well, guys, we're going to say goodbye. We're going to thank you once again for coming on and watching us and putting up with our antics. Oh, wait, we got some more. Why do you guys wait to just as we're going to
just the last second? Yeah.
Okay, hold on. What's this question? Okay, I don't know what SCS is. You? Well, Sussman, you can't talk in code, man. We're not that smart. I think HOF is Heroes of the Falklands. That one I got.
Right.
Okay.
Second chance games.
Send Heroes of the Falklands. They already have Heroes of the Falklands. They'll send me one for review. Oh, one for review. I think we know people. I may know people that can do that. Okay.
Adam R had another quick question.
Hold on. Oh, Uwe, we're going to be talking to you this week. No. Oh, yes. Thank you for coming. And Uwe, thank you for all that you do at the Tabletop Simulator for us. God forbid me and Devin had to do that. Fun for the convention. Yes, I'm looking forward to that too. If like I said, my favorite West Coast convention is definitely Harold's convention. I've been to Pacific Con. I've been to a few of them, and they're not. I'm not saying those are horrible conventions. So no, someone misquote me. That's what my wife's for. But if you want a war game convention and you want to hang out with great guys and leaders in the industry, man, it's a great convention. East Coast WBC, that is my favorite war game convention. But you know why it's my favorite? Because it's got usually well over 3,000, maybe even 4,000 people. It's almost 10 days. It's a resort, so I can put my wife and kids over there and see them for dinner, and they just lounge around, enjoy the pool. My kids play games, and it's a great con. And I like it because it's long. It's kind of like I finally get done traveling to a convention, and it's 3 days, and you're kind of like, oh, I'm just finally getting relaxed. It's time to go home. And I guess John Kranz's convention, I haven't gone to that one in a long time. And the one I was going to go to, they canceled because of COVID. But those are my three cons, I will say. And again, there's a lot of good cons, guys. Okay, so
Adam R had a question that you missed.
Oh, I did. Oh, I'm sorry, Adam. Okay, hold on. Hey, Kurt, how you doing? Just got home from Fort Miles. Just to catch the show. Well, you should have drove faster, dude. Come on. All right. And Adam, let's see. Any plans for late war East Front Lockwood Tactical module?
Yes, there are. I have 3 in mind. I don't know when I'll ever get to them. It's not, again, I do want to try to impart on people, just because we don't do a module means we have no interest in doing that module or doing a specific time period or doing a specific battle. It comes down to the lack of designers and the lack of time to be able to do it. I would love to do a Budapest module. I would love to do a Silo Heights module. I would love to do a Fall of Berlin module. I don't know if and when I'm ever going to get to them. So that's all I can say.
So, we'll tell you that what we have in the hopper for Lockwood Tactical is Heroes of the Stalingrad, which I think technically is really an art delay more than anything at this point.
Right. That's what we're waiting on.
The next one after that, which I believe he's working on now, is
Heroes of Grenada.
You're working on Pegasus Bridge.
Yeah, I'm working on Pegasus Bridge, but that's next year.
Okay, and then we have Heroes of Grenada, which is Ralph Ferrari.
Yep.
And we have a gentleman working on, is it Fallujah or Syria?
Fallujah.
Okay. And I think those are the only ones.
Gina. No, we've got another one. That don't forget Gina.
Oh,
Africa too. We haven't come up with the title with it for that one yet, but she's working.
Work, huh?
Well, I'm okay with Heroes of Africa too. I'm not sure the consumers and the public would, but no, Gina's working on that. Plus, I'm talking to a couple other guys. Panama Canal, the invasion that we did to Aus Noriega, not Noriega. It was Noriega. And then I need to sit down and get a hold of Kai because that's the one he wanted to do. Kai wanted to do Panama, and then I've got so many people working.
And we got Nicholas working on the
Shanghai. Yeah, right. Shanghai module too. Yeah. So we've got a bunch of stuff. I mean, so much that I can't even keep track of it all. Which is not a good sign for me, I suppose. But it just comes down to designers being able to get the projects done, and then our side of it.
Honestly, guys, we're now really getting into a nice group of people working.
Yes, we are,
and artists and everything else. And with that, you're going to see a lot more modules for this.
And we've got one. Neil is working on a British historical. So we do have some Brits coming in World War II after Normandy.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. Heroes of Normandy. Someone's asking now. So you had to say that.
I'm sorry.
There is a reprint, but I want to redo all the counters that it's been 18, 19 years, and we want to update them. We're not sure what we're going to do, but we believe we're going to be adding Free French, French Resistance, Canadians as our own troops and counters and colors. Am I missing anybody? Oh, and we're going to make the Luftwaffe not as offensive.
Yes, we're going to get rid of that horrible neon blue for the Luftwaffe field divisions.
Yes. And we weren't responsible for that. We just we went with that.
Right.
Okay.
That was before either one of us.
Right. Yeah. So there's quite a bit, and they're actually moving along really nice at a clip.
Yeah. Much more than's been worked on in the last 2 years. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, I agree. And guys, thanks to all the designers who are working with us now, which obviously makes it happen. But I really want to thank Devin, because a lot of the reasons it's been dragging is because if I'm the choke point of everything, the only one person getting choked is me. So with Devin taking over, a lot of help there, and Stefan coming on board and helping there. I mean,
that's a huge help right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I need shades to look at those counters.
Yeah, they're. I mean, hey, they'd be perfect for a sci-fi game.
No, they wouldn't even be good for that. But, I mean, I don't know who just. I could suspect who decided these colors to start with, but man, oh man, it just when you look at them, you print on a laser printer, you can just see that this is just not working. But again, it was, guys, it's almost 20 years since.
Yeah.
It is 20 years since Forgotten Heroes came out.
Forgotten Heroes, yeah.
So it's understandable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So all right, gentlemen. More questions. Let's see.
I think they're mostly comments.
And yes, Carrie. Yeah, I'll give you that, but not a lot better. Okay, gentlemen, we're going to say goodbye and good night, and stay safe. God bless you, and we'll see you next time. And we're not going to wait this time.
Well, that is all you have for this episode. Keep gaming, and may God bless you and keep you until next time. On the air is a Lock and Load Publishing production.